In the studios today, I would like to introduce Kaylee with Kaylee's Outdoors. This is a new show, and we are very excited to hear Kaylee's Outdoors does fishing and hunting, and you're going to be learning about all the latest gear and what works and what doesn't. And to the area, I'm proud to introduce Kaylee Jackson. How are you today?
I am fine, Jerry. Thank you for having me. It is my pleasure to be able to do this show. I am proud to be living in Arkansas now, and just glad to be here.
Now, on your hunting and fishing, is that pretty much a local thing, or do you go throughout the states? Or
I do. I have traveled extensively all over the country and out of country to do hunting and fishing. I am working on my Grand Slam, so I go from the East Coast to the West Coast, from the South border to the North border, past it up into Alaska and Canada to get whatever I need to make that slam.
And now the hunters will surely know what that is, but for some of us who don't, what is a Grand Slam?
A Grand Slam is you have 29 animals, species that you'll have to take or kill. And I'm not going to say take because we kill them. Usually we donate the food to local areas, local charities and stuff. They range anywhere from your 5 turkeys that you have to do, which is called a turkey slam, up to your bear slam, which you have 4 species of bear, grizzly brown, Kodiak, and the black. And then you go on into your hooved animals, your deers, your elk, your moose. So we do 29 of those species. Once we've done that, then you're introduced into like a hall of fame of hunters.
Oh, well. Now, when you're out there hunting, is there a requirement that you have to use a gun here or have to use a bow here? I know you like the bow a lot. You're predominantly a bow hunter. So how does that work?
Usually, they want you to register whatever you're hunting with in their organization. My thing is, look, I like to bow hunt because I like to be the first hunter out in the woods. Beginning off in September, and I like to go all the way to the end of February. Now, when I get to about the middle of January, I'm kind of slowing down because the bucks are losing their antlers by then, and I'm not going to take a doe that's already pregnant. So I just kind of just leave it a little bit. I might just walk out there and see if I see any bucks that do still have antlers. But, I try to do it from September to January every year.
And now the hunt is just a small part of it. I mean, you're working year-round to get your food plots and all this.
We do. I have a ranch manager, and then my husband and I, we go out, we plant clover, we plant turnips, we plant anything and everything that deer like. The state of Arkansas, we try to, every state is different, so you have to make sure you go through your DNR to make sure what you can do and what you can't do. Like I just say New York, you can't have a food plot, but you can have a plot that has things that humans can consume, such as your corn and your soybeans, which you have your oils and stuff from, but they cannot have a per se food plot for just deers.
But now, can you put out some corn and say this is for squirrels only? All deer will be shot.
I could do that, but I don't know if they can read or not. What we do is we have a couple of different things that have corn in them that's spread. We've got a couple of ones that we've kind of made that I think it's called a vacuum. I can't even think of the word vacuum. Anyway, it's a vacuum machine like thing, and it goes, the corn comes down it, and so we have that, and our food plots on the ground, and our deer were pretty good this year.
Right on. And for those that don't know, this show's getting out in a lot of countries, but right here in Arkansas, if I know everybody's got its little high-end, like Texas, you want a big bass, go to Lake Fork. But you can't get a big deer in Lake Fork. I'd have to say, if you had to pinpoint one place, we are very blessed with some of the best fishing and hunting in the world. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would tell you this. It is called a natural state for one reason, and it can produce more animals per capita than any state in the union. Bear, deer, turkey, fishing is out of this world. You know, you got elk that you can draw for, gators in the south part of the state. There's so much to do here. You can't. There's not enough time in the year to get it all done.
No, there really isn't. And are you going to be bringing people in and let them share in that experience? And
You know, I am, and you and I've talked about hunting together, but I have people coming all the way from New Jersey. And we'll talk to them in just a few minutes. North Carolina, up in British Columbia, Canada. She's coming. One of my girls is coming down from there to hunt with me. So yeah, we're sharing the wealth. We're sharing it. You know, we're kind of like some other people that share the wealth. So we're going to spread it on out a little bit.
there you go. And I tell you what, our lakes are pristine. You can catch trout in the rivers and do lake fishing, hunting, and you do all that. And I've seen on your Facebook page, if you go to Kaylee's Outdoors, you are a bow hunter even when it comes to fishing. I see there.
I am. I like to bow fish a lot. Now, I do some. I'm not a regular. Yes, I'm a woman, and people are probably going, "What do you know about hunting?" Well, I've been doing this for 49 years. I know a lot about hunting. But I rigged up me a old bow I had, and I had my husband do a couple of engineering and attitude adjustments to it. So I was out frog gigging Sunday, and there ain't too many people in the world that frog gig anymore. So I like doing that.
Well, that's good eating, I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah, them frog legs fantastic.
Yeah, it's filled my belly many times around here. I guess we want to give a call to Nick, and who will we be talking to?
We're going to talk to Nick Albanese. Now, he is the owner of Steady Form Torque Eliminator. He is my show sponsor, and this is what is brought to you by Steady Form Torque Eliminator. Nick's out of the state of New Jersey. He owns a couple of other companies there, and we're going to talk to him first today.
All right, let's give him a call. And on the phone today, we have Nick Albanese. And Kaylee, I'm going to let you introduce Nick to everybody.
Well, thank you very much, Jerry. Nick, I've known you for a long time, and I want to tell everybody who you are. Nick Albanese is out of the state of New Jersey. He has come up with a product that is, just out of this world for bow hunters. It's a product that everybody ought to own. It's not an accessory; it's a necessity. The Steady Form Torque Eliminator is Nick's baby. So, Nick, I want you to tell everybody what Steady Form is.
Sure. I want to start off by thanking you guys for having me on the show. The Steady Form was developed to basically control the bow. The hand is such a crucial... When you're holding that bow, that hand is so crucial on that bow that every 16th of play matters. So we've always had consistency in the rear with anchor points as far as kissers and peep sights. We've never had an anchor for your hand. So I developed the Steady Form to give you that anchor, but also give you stabilization in the bow so that you can properly adjust it. If you can't the bow, you can actually take that can out. You can set that level to level, preset everything so that when you grab that bow, there's no downtime. There's no reason to check hand placement or check your bubble. It's all preset. With all that, you have that stabilization. Now you're in full control of that bow because you have consistency in the rear with your kisses and peeps, and now you have consistency in the front. By having all that consistency from the rear to the front of the bow, it doesn't matter how awkward of an angle or how much your body-wise your form is broken down, that arrow's going to fly true every time.
Every time, you're right.
Every time.
Now, does it make when you get the package of Steady Form and you have, we'll talk about that just at the very end, how to get the Steady Form. But when you get that package of Steady Form, you're going to take it out. And Nick, tell everybody what you're going to do in order to get your Steady Form on your bow and get it ready to shoot it.
Okay. Well, there's a few different mounting options. The most common mounting option is coming off of the front of the bow. So there's an L bracket, there's a screw. So, and then there's your long rod. You would put your long rod in that L bracket, tighten down on it, take the screw, set it into the front of the bow, and then insert your stabilizer onto that. You're not actually giving up that hole, that threaded area. You're just adding my part in and then regaining those threads, add your stabilizer into it.
Right.
And then you would simply put that steady form on that rod, and you just custom adjust from there. You know, you wanna adjust it where you don't hold the bow any different than you used to.
Okay, and that's your first option.
Yes.
Okay,
That's one option.
Okay.
Another option is to take the steady form itself and mount it straight onto your string stopper rod on the bow. But I tell everybody, you know, make sure that there's cable clearance when you're mounting on the string stopper. As long as there's cable clearance, it's no problem.
Right.
If you go to draw the way you're going to notice that is when you go to draw the bow, when those cables are moving up and down or sliding forward and back, you want to make sure they're going freely past the steady form. If you're going to mount on that string stopper rod.
And it sounds like a good product, and it sounds like you will see immediate results. Is that right?
Yeah.
As far as
once it's custom adjusted, the results are immediate. Because what you're doing is you're putting your hand in the same position every time. You've always set yourself for the same position in the rear, when you're kissing your feet. Now you're putting your hand in the same position, so the results are going to be instant.
And it'll be
you're going to watch your group tighten right up.
Be a lot truer shot at a lot longer distance, I assume.
Yeah, a lot of guys that like to hunt out west or shoot long range really love that product because, you know, once you're shooting long range, now that 16th really comes into play. That 16th movement.
You know, when people first get their bow, you know, they tell them how to sight it in and everything. With your steady form, I know, you know, from personal experience, owning one and everything, you get a brand new bow, you're ready to sight it in. Is it okay if they put the steady form on at that time, or do they need to go ahead and sight the bow in and then put the steady form on it?
Me, honestly, I would put the steady form on first.
Right.
I would put the steady form on first, set myself up into my perfect, you know, I find my sweet spot, set myself up into that perfect position, and then sight my bow in from there.
And do you recommend doing it with the paper, you know, sighting in, or do you recommend any other way to do that?
Well, I would definitely paper tune the bow first.
Okay.
Without the steady form.
Okay.
So without the steady form, you shoot through the paper, make sure that arrow's flying straight. Once that's all paper tuned, then I would add my steady form on and go ahead and sight my bow in.
There's one thing that we haven't talked about, and there's so many uses for the steady form, just not from torquing your bow left to right or even up and down. You're not torquing your bow. It also keeps you from getting in the fall time, getting rash on your arm from the string. It also keeps your clothes tight up against you, so you don't have that extra bulk, when you're pulling your bow back. Am I correct?
Yes, you're absolutely right. You'll never need an arm guard ever again because you'll never hit your arm again, nor will you hit your clothes.
Right.
Because it's going to keep everything compressed in nice and tight up against the arm.
And tell everybody how this to me, this is just the best accessory that's ever come out since the compound bow. And we've talked about this. Nobody likes to try new things,
right.
But at one time the compound bow was a new object, so they had to try it. And once they tried it, they liked it. This is something that everybody's got to try. But go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, I was around when the releases first came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at that time, everybody was just like, that's unfair. You're cheating. It should be illegal. Nobody wanted change. Once they adapted to that and realized all the benefits you were getting from that, everybody has it now.
Right, and now you got.
It's the same thing with the steady form. We've never had this technology offered to us.
No.
Now that it's here, they don't know what to make of it. And then it's a hands-on product. It's instant, gratification once it's mounted properly.
Now, folks, I do want to say this. Steady Form is a hunting accessory. This
Exactly.
is not for your competition shooting. You know, there's some things that there's some leagues that don't let you even do it with 3D. I don't think.
No.
But this is for pure hunting gratification because, like I said, once you shoot the Steady Form. I started it, I mean, I was shooting 15, 20 yards, you know, and I'd be all over the place. Got the product from Nick. I'm shooting 60 yards, shooting a 50-cent piece. And I don't think I can get no better than that because I can't see past 60 yards.
That's the truth. And it's going to tighten up your groups. With that, it's going to allow you to extend your range because of the confidence level. Now it's easy to shoot. You feel good. You know you're going to make that shot. There's no doubt in your mind. And with that confidence allows you to extend that range. And you'll find where your comfort zone. Like before the Steady Form, I would shoot 35 yards, maybe 40 max. Now I'll shoot 80 yards with consistency and be comfortable to shoot at that distance.
And you know, Ben, you're saying 80 yards. Tell people, you know, you're shooting at 80 yards. That's your comfort zone. But there's a lot of people like myself that, you know, 40 yards is my comfort zone.
Exactly.
Can I shoot 60? Yes. Could I shoot 80 if I could see it? Probably. But you've always got to find the area that you're the most comfortable with, and that's, you know, don't make bad shots because, you know, we don't want to injure the animals. We want to make sure that the animals are down and that we can properly, you know, do what we have to do with them.
Exactly. And Steady Form plays a big role in that. You know, when I was talking to a guy who uses the product, he had told me, he goes, if I was in charge, this is a guy that shot for many, many years, and shot tournaments, and he said, if I was in charge of bow manufacturing, I would make this product mandatory on bows. And I said, really, why do you say that? And he said, because you realize the amount of game that would be recovered because of that product on there.
I so agree with him, very much.
You know what I mean? And I sat there for a second and thought to myself, wow, I never thought of it like that.
And that's true because, you know, last year I made that shot on that doe, did not have a side shot. You know, and you know, I know the anatomy of the animal. I know where to shoot. I know where to bring them down at. And that Steady Form gave me the confidence to make that one shot that nobody else would probably take.
Exactly.
You know, and I was proud that I had it because, I mean, I dropped her in her spot. And that was just confidence from the Steady Form. People call it a crutch. I call it a necessity because you are confident. You are bringing home more deer. You're not out looking for the deer every time you shoot one.
No, I mean, you owe it to yourself. The amount of time and money we invest into the sport, to have that one shot, you know, the last thing you want to do is injure that animal and not recover it once you've put God knows how much time into that tree stand to make that shot.
We do.
So to have a product on your bow that's going to increase the odds and stack them in your favor, I mean, it's foolish not to have it on there.
It is. It really is. And, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, you have taken, you've had some things going on and you've taken them out of some of the bigger box stores. And I really think that, you know, that was a really good call. Mom and pops have these products now, which is helping them in this economy, you know, because people are looking for the Steady Form. And we've talked about getting it down here and getting it into the stores down here because people does not know what it is. And we've got to make sure people realize that this is something that is just beyond imagination. I can't explain it to anybody. You have to see it on my bow. You have to see it on Nick's bow and anybody else's bow on in the Steady Form Nation that has it, you know. And you'll see, if you'll go to the website or the Facebook page, you'll see all the animals that people have taken with this bow. And you've got some big name people that's using, I mean, this product. You've got some big name people using this product.
Yeah, because there's people that get it. As soon as they see it, they understand it. And then you got your guys that, like we spoke about earlier, they're not so quick to change. They almost feel like if they put that product on there, that means they never knew how to shoot a bow prior to that. And that's not what it's saying at all.
No. You know.
You follow what I'm saying? Put that on there to make sure that hand placement is in the same exact spot, just like you would imagine taking your peep off.
exactly.
Same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it is, and it's for beginners to the 99 years old that's been shooting for
Right.
90 of those years.
Yep.
It's a product for everybody. Again, it's for hunting only. Nick, you tell everybody that the website and the Facebook page that they can go to see the product or order the product.
Sure. They could go to www.steadyform.com, and they'll find all the products there. We have a Facebook page, Steadyform, that they could go to and see all the new stuff and what people are actually saying about the product. They can get them at their dealers or at their local shops. Actually, if they don't have them in stock, we deal with Kinsey's, which is a distributor that sells to all these smaller shops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy to get a hold of.
Okay, so go to their local bow shops and say, "Look, I want this Steady Form. Contact Kinsey to see if you can get it for me."
Sure.
You also, I'm going to tell this too. You also have a Twitter page that people can go to. It's Steady Form. You have Instagram people can go to see. Most of the time, it's all of the Steady Form Nation, which is the pro staff of Steady Form, plus a few others that's been tagged into the pictures. You can see our kills and all the animals that we hunt for. And then steadyform.com, you can order right off the site, right?
Yeah, you could order directly through steadyform.com, absolutely.
And then you have a number people can call too, right?
Yeah, there's an 800 number. If they don't feel comfortable putting their credit card info online, they could call direct and we can process that order for them.
Do you remember that number off the top of your head, or do
No, I don't remember that.
That's okay. I'll get it and I'll tell people one day, the next time we're on, what it is. I know it's 1-800-STEADY-FORM. I think that's how it goes.
It's on my web. It is. It's an 800 number. I mean, if they go to the website, they'll be able to see it there
okay,
also.
Good deal. Nick, you've got, I think it's 22 of us, or maybe it's a little bit more than that, as pro staff, but you kind of got people from A to Z, from the north to the south to the east and the west, and you've done that for a reason, and that's to make sure everybody, can promote your product and get it out and watch people see what you've got going on. And so you've got people from everywhere.
Yeah. I wanted it across the United States. I wanted someone representing, because if for any reason somebody was really interested and close to one of the pro staff, they could go swing by, take a look, shoot it, feel it. And we've added more also, so there's a bunch more. We're going to still add more pro staff and field staff out there and get the troops on the ground, just strategically in position. This way, if there's people in those areas that want to see them and the shops are not carrying them, at least they can go and meet up with some of these people and they can demonstrate the product to them.
Very good, and I need to put that on our Facebook page as well. That number is 1-888-859-5815. That's 1-888-859-5815 for Steady Form. You can call that number and order yours. Talk to one of the guys at the shop there, and he can get you set up, or leave a message if you have to, if there's not anybody at the shop. Yeah, I will make sure we put that on our Facebook page, that you can come by the house if you can't find it around here, and take a look at it on 2 different bows that my husband and I both got, and then also on my bow fishing rig. If you like to bow fish, we use the Steady Form, and the other day I kind of went to frog gigging with my Steady Form. So it's kind of a jack of all trades. Nick, you, like I said, you've made a product that everybody, needs, everybody wants. There's one other question I want to ask you. If would it be anything that you would have done different with the Steady Form, what would it have been?
Wow. Honestly, I don't think I would have done. I don't think I would have done anything differently. It's so adjustable to custom fit. It has to be in that area to stabilize, control the hand. So I don't think I would have done anything any different.
You like I said, I don't think there is nothing that you could do different. And what I was wanting you to say, I wanted you to get at was, there's nothing in the world that can beat a steady form. There's nothing in the world that would be changed about it. There's nothing in the world. I mean, you might add some colors, you might add some, different
Correct.
whatever to it later on down the road, but if you when people do, they get it and they don't try, they send it back. You got a 30-day money back guarantee on this. Make sure you understand that. But you can tell if somebody's really, really tried to put this product together right and use it, because there's markings on the screw and on the
Exactly.
the thing. So
Yep.
folks, make sure you adjust it to fit you, because everybody's different. A woman's different than a man. You do have youth too. I do want to mention that real quick. You do have youth, correct?
We do have a youth model, yep. And like you said, the key to that product is custom adjust. You need to take those 5 minutes and properly fit that, and not even where it's like, okay, you know what, this feels okay. No, then it's not right.
Okay.
It's got to be perfect where you're barely feeling the pressure and it's laying in there. Your arm is laying in there comfortably.
Well, Nick, I appreciate you being on, and again, I appreciate you sponsoring this show for us down here in Mountain Home. We are going to get together soon, and I'll be glad to get you to show me different things about the product that I don't even know about it, and I've been studying it for a long time. But Nick, thank you for being on, and I'm gonna have you back next year.
Okay, absolutely.
All right.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick, and have a good afternoon.
Same to you guys. Thank you.
See you, Nick.
Folks, thank you for joining us this morning. We're glad to have you with us. Glad you have tuned in to Catch the Madness with Kaylee. We're going to be here with you every Saturday morning at 8:30. You will never believe the people that we've got coming on this show this year. Folks, from what we just heard from Nick, that's just started out building these products, and we're going to have different products, different companies on the show, to folks all the way to some of the outdoor channels, and just not the outdoor channel, but you got the Sportsman, Pursuit, Hunt channel, and so on and so forth. So we've got folks from all different leagues. So I want you to be sure to join me, Kaylee Jackson, on my Facebook page at Kaylee's Outdoors. Catch the Madness or Huntress KJ Jackson. You can go to all three of those, and I'm on that. Or my personal page is full, so that's why we've got the Huntress KJ Jackson. Then you can catch me out on Twitter. I'm every morning and every evening on Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, Reddit, Square. You can name it, I'm on it. If it's a social media website, I'm on it. See Me Hunt. Make sure you go to that website and check that out, because I'm over there. I do a lot of different types of stories that's happened to me over the years. Catch that, look at that. Put your feedback in there. I want to hear from you. Make sure you like the page. Make sure you share the page with your family and friends, because we want everybody to be able to come over there and watch us at Facebook and see what we're doing, because we've got so many people at different parts of the country, with us, our teammates from Virginia to British Columbia, Canada. We're all over the world. So folks, make sure you tune in every Saturday morning again at 8:30. You're going to catch me, and you're going to catch the Madness, and we're going to do some hunting. We're going to do some fishing. We're going to be talking anything and everything that has to do with the outdoors. So join us, and we'll see you next time, folks.